Okay, I got a topic. See, sandals and motorcycles, I've never done that. Sandals and scooters, yes, guilty. Sandals and motorcycle, no. Unless I'm maybe just like riding my motorcycle out of my garage and into the park, and then I'm like giving it and then I'm waxing it or something. Like sometimes I'll get my bike washed and then I go home, and then I get my dogs and I ride the bike outside and then wax it. Maybe if I'm just riding it out to wax it, I might wear sandals. That was a girl on a 50cc scooter that just passed me. Take a good look, because you might not ever see that happen again, because it's a rarity. Look at her go. Go, Speed Racer. She's cruising. What is she doing? I'm doing 70. She's doing like over 60 kilometers an hour. I own two 50cc scooters, and neither one of them can do the speeds that she's doing. And she took that corner horribly. She went way wide. She doesn't know how to. And you know what that is because? She doesn't know how to counter steer. People say you can get by. You know, you don't have to counter steer. You just do it naturally, and you can just. And she's doing it naturally. That's what she's doing. You know. But when you do counter steering, just intuitively, you have much less control than if you were doing it consciously, intentionally. Because I see that. I see people, they take a corner and then they'll headlight off. No headlight. Her tail light's on, so that means she has the lights on, but the headlight's burnt out, and she just rides along like that. Even though there's like scooter shops on every block practically. What was I saying? Oh yeah. Like I'll be riding behind somebody and they'll take a corner, and they'll take it at an okay speed, but they'll go like wide, and they're like, you know, it looks like they're going to go into oncoming traffic and crash. And it's just like, well, that's just that they don't know how to consciously counter steer, and that's why they are counter steering, because just to do a corner while moving at any good rate of speed, you have to counter steer. But most people just do it without realizing. But for someone to corner well and quickly, you need to be able to do it consciously, I'd say. People argue that though. I knew a guy who's, I guess, kind of old, and he used to race motorcycles back in the day. And back in the day when he used to race them, they didn't even know about. Actually, counter steering has only been around since like the 1970s. Like it was first. I think it was first discovered in the late 60s by a few riders start to realize, hey, wow, when I turn the handlebars like this, the bike goes left. That's odd. That shouldn't be possible. Hey, it's one of those robots. Yeah. So. Yeah, but then it wasn't until the 70s when some racer guy wrote like a paper, or he published an article in a racing magazine about counter steering. And when it first came out, everybody's like, "You're a fucking moron! What the fuck's wrong with this magazine printing this bullshit? Turn the handlebars like this and the bike goes left? What kind of an idiot are they? If you turn the front tire like this, how the hell's the bike going to go left? It's going to go right. You're a complete moron." And then of course people went out and started to fiddle with it and stuff, and they realized, oh shit, he's right. But it's funny because, you know, that means everyone before the 1970s who raced, chances are they'd never heard of counter steering, and they were still racing and flying around racetracks. But the question is, how much better could they have done if they had known? And this guy's very aggressive. Mitsubishi. Shall we follow him? Yes, we shall. Look at that. He's trying to pass his car by going the oncoming. No. He was just moving over the scooter. Come on, tough guy. came up hard behind me. I saw him. I watched my mirror. I saw him before he got there. That's another thing. You know, a lot of motorcyclists, they just get content with just like riding along, and they don't keep an eye on the mirrors, and then they get rear-ended, and end of story. I check my mirrors regularly. Like, jeez. I think I tried to like kind of like time it or whatever. Like I tried to count how often it was that I checked my mirrors, and it was just an amazingly high. It was something like, actually what happened was my mirror, I had no mirrors on for some reason. They had broken, or I had taken them off or something. And then when I was riding along, I noticed that every literally few seconds I would look over and there was no mirror, so I was just looking at nothing, and that's what made it register. I'm like, oh yeah, my mirror's gone. And then like 6 seconds later, oh yeah, no mirror. And then like another 10 seconds go by, oh yeah, no mirror. But it just showed me that I actually check my mirrors like every few seconds while riding. And yeah, I think it's a good habit to have. I've been riding with other motorcyclists who don't check their mirrors, and there's been many occasions where a car will go right up on their ass. Like I'm talking inches away. If they fucking tap the brake, the car would hit them and they would crash, and the car would probably go up and over their bodies and like, you know, like very good chance kill them. Like there was one time we were like, me and another motorcycle, we were like racing in the mountains, and a car decided to race with us, some moron, and I saw him coming up on my ass, and then as he started to get closer, I just moved right over, and then he passed me, and then he started chasing my friend, and my friend didn't check his mirrors, so for a good like mile or two, my friend, without realizing it, had like a Mitsubishi 3 inches away from his rear tire while he was racing through the mountains at like close to double the, well, at least double the speed limit. So he's like focusing on, you know, riding fast and looking at the corners. Meanwhile, the whole time he's got a car 2 inches away from him, and he never figured it out. Finally, I told him, and I said, that car just followed you for 2 miles, 2 inches away from you, man. If you had tapped your brakes, you would have been dead. And then we got the guy to stop. We were driving behind him, giving him the finger and calling him a pussy. We could see that he was with his girlfriend. And finally he pulled over, and we didn't fight, but yeah, we just argued for a bit.